Oh. Yes!
Pretty sure with my current setup, the post-stun lightning strike is the most damaging thing I'm doing to her right now. I'm gonna switch to a dual sword strategy after this run. That was a silly risk. This is a rain attempt. Still got a lot of phase transition mechanics to do. She skipped some stuff because I'd hurt her too much. Die! Yes! Rainfall buff. Insane. That put me over the edge so crisply to have that advantage. She's dead. We got it. All right. Yeah, it's a pretty notable difference in the damage count. And honestly, like, I do think I could have performed better if I had put on 2 Rapiers. Oh, right, YouTube video stuff. We gotta stand in the courtyard and prove our merits. Let's get a little close-up of the character in the scene that matches the battlefield. Current setup. Let me try and get a view that showcases the weapon fairly well. Okay, for this fight, level 1, as before. Scadutree Blessing 14. Our equipment was Rodgier's Lightning Rapier plus 24. I didn't wind up taking it to plus 25 for the fight. Could have done that. We used the Okina Mask with some, like, you know, cloth stuff, whatever. Ritual Sword Talisman, Dragoncrest Shield Talisman plus 2, Ritual Shield Talisman, and Radagon Soreseal with our Physic on Opaline Hardtear and Lightning Shrouding Cracked Tier. This setup allowed us to take multiple hits from Rellana, which was essential to learning the fight. I haven't done the DLC with a leveled character, so I'm learning the fight from an RL1 character. That makes the defenses and being able to survive multiple hits pretty essential in order to learn all the boss's patterns and attacks. And Rellana's patterns are really complicated. There's a lot of stuff going on during the fight. I'm really glad that the attempt that wound up getting there was overall pretty clean, and I was able to handle almost everything that I got to see. I did pilot mostly successful responses to a lot of her behaviors, but some of what she does is kind of a crapshoot. If you want to get that stance break, you have to take risks. I can imagine playing Rellana safe, but it just sounds super freaking miserable, and I'm glad I didn't bother trying to pilot that. I'm aware of the chatter from the release week of the DLC regarding difficulty of Rellana and other bosses. I found this boss fairly frustrating until I had built up more Scadutree Blessing. Mulaney is a new benchmark for FromSoft difficulty, but her low poise is an important weakness. Rellana isn't as fast as Melania and lacks some of the devastating special attacks, but she similarly has a long flowchart. Because she has armor and thus has poise, you can't interrupt her flow like you can with Melania, and you spend a decent amount of time during the boss fight waiting. Her neutral behavior will sometimes throw glint blades and then approach, which can make you feel helpless. I couldn't fully avoid some of her attacks and used a very defensive talisman build. For my own testing, I realized she was weak to lightning. I learned she was weak to pierce after checking the wiki. I don't usually use thrusting swords, so the rapier was a learning experience.